Okay, I think that gets us going there. Spread a little love around. Let's see here. Do a few things. That can go. That can go. This can be refreshed. Not that I need that one up when I'm doing this, and I can actually close this down. And now I'll bring this over because, well, I'll be able to see the chat. Not like I expect to have many people in here, but a couple might show up. There we go. I should be able to see everything. Getting my afternoon mint and mind right. Ooh. Need to get my back broke up too. Oh, got a layout wizard now, huh? I might have to play with that. So, oh, nice split screen, full screen, four-way solo back. Okay. So I gotta set up. I can even set up. I gotta double check. I don't think I've got a. Yeah, I don't have a account yet. Recording screenshots. Record tools. Layout wizard. Okay. That could work out kind of nicely. Let's see. Right there. Pretty good. Okay. that out. And then make one change here. Shut it all the way, but mostly. That way the kitty cat can get out if she needs to get out. Meow! Okay. Let's take a peek here. So, been getting goodies for the Promoto. Couple things that have been recently released are these hot racing rings for the rims. I'm calling them a reinforcement ring. And basically these are just rings, front and rear. So you only got, two front and two for the rear, the other way around, two for the front, two for the rear. And these will act like a beadlock kind of encapsulation going around the rims on the inside, of course, reinforcing the rim for landings and jumps. So of course they'll, got to take the wheel off, and one half will go on each side of the rim. They're 60-61. They're not 70-75. They are 60-61. They should be pretty decent. They may not be the greatest thing to use on real high, heavy, hard landings. If you're going to be going out there and just floating it out there, you might not want to run. You're probably going to want that rim to give, because these will bend, obviously. And once they're bent, they're not round, and you will never get them true again. But for most average running into things, generally without a lot of speed, these should really help with most normal running and landing, especially if you like racing, where you're not, got big jumps, you're actually on a track. These will probably actually really help maintain the tire trueness. So, the only thing is I've always seen them in black. They only come in black, I believe. And before I put them on, I'm going to paint them gold. Just going to use old-fashioned, clean them up real good. I am probably going to put a little bit of mask in the silver areas and leave those silver. Clean it out later, but I'm just going to use Testors gold paint, metallic gold, and give them a spray before I put them on. But these are a couple of the items that are new from Hot Racing for the Promoto, and I've seen those and went, okay, I could see where those are good. I like them better than the stars, as people are calling them, throwing stars, because those are kind of gaudy looking. And for an off-road bike, you really don't want the other types of rims that have been presented, solid wheel rims. You're going to need a little bit of flex and give with your off-road style bike, especially if you're going to be jumping, that kind of thing. So that's, hopefully these aren't so stiff and they don't bend so easy that a couple hard jumps and they'll be done. Possible. But I think they'll do pretty good for the most part. Like I say, if you're going to be jumping it and airing it right out, probably want to go with just the rims, because anything else, the stars leave you big gaps between where they mount to the rim. You got 2 inches, of open area between the holes there, so that ain't going to work the greatest. So there's that to deal with. But, so I found and picked up those. Let's see. Put that there for the moment. What's that? These are for the wheels. Hubs, the LOSI gold hubs. Thought about getting Treal reds. but I thought I'd go with the golds because most of the Maicos, the rims are gold, which is why I'm painting these to go with the theme of the bike. And I'll got a pair of black rims on the way. Those I'll probably do something slightly different with just the motocross tires. But anyways, they'll paint these gold and they'll go on the stock rims, which are still in pretty good shape. My front tires got two spokes starting to bend a little bit, so hopefully this can help maintain that a little bit. That can wait. That can wait. It's this one. That can wait. And I think that can wait too for the moment, as well as that. Okay. Foot pegs, those are an easy one. Rear springs, I found front springs with free shipping yesterday on eBay, so the multi-pack front springs are on the way. I also got those titanium hinge pins. I think I mentioned it. They got them coming from A-Main, which A-Main has almost all the stuff in stock now. They're still, minus a few things besides the bikes. We're still waiting on bikes, but they got almost all the repair parts and upgrade parts. There's still a few things out of stock. Whole front assembly tires, but they do have rims and the front tires. At least the dirt tires. There's everything else that they don't have the front brake rotors in stock yet with the screws, the shoulder screws for the rotor to slip on. Rear wheel is getting the gold sprocket, as most of these Maicos had gold sprockets. Stock replacement crash structure, and I'm going to take and I got to paint that. I got to do a little bit of work to add what would be, quote unquote frame rails. So I got to add a little red to it, and I'm probably going to add some silver into the air area just to make it look right. I'm going to go ahead and keep using the stock crash structure in case I do break stuff. I got 3D printed one in there. They may work pretty decently. That is a ring and gasket for the triple tree. LOSI rear shock cap and top and bottom cap from LOSI. I thought about getting the Treal parts, but I decided to go with stock LOSI. LOSI spring, machine piston for the rear shock. Now here's another hot racing item that I came across that I liked. This is 3 machine pistons, different hole sizes. So I believe we got a 1 millimeter, a 1.2 millimeter hole size, and a 1.5 millimeter hole size. I don't know if you're going to be able to kind of see it in there, get it down where you can get them in the line. So the hole sizes are slightly, as you can see, slightly bigger or smaller to allow more or less fluid through on the rear piston for the rear shock to get that going. And then the last little part from Hot Racing that I got was the metal servo horn with the slide. This is their little version. Uses the servo saver. It's real similar to the stock unit where it uses spring steel rings on the inside to help hold it. I thought about going with the Treal. I see some people went that way and like it. Seen 1 or 2 people have tried this one, and I thought for the 20 bucks I'll give this a shot. This is for the stock servo, so it's 23 tooth. So if I do upgrade my steering servo, which many people have, if I upgrade that, I'll probably end up having to go with a 25 tooth because they're all likely to end up with a Reese. And those are all 25 teeth output, so I'll have to get a servo saver then. At that point, I'll probably end up with the Treal unit, one of the 2 Treal unit options. So those are the basic parts. Like I say, for painting, I got to do these and the crash structure. Although I don't have to put the crash structure on, I have the 3D printed one on now. But that's not all the goodies I have. I've taken bits and people have seen this. So I've got the front brake caliper from Treal. So I'm going to go through that. the triple tree, which is why I got the ring and gasket. The skid plates. Now, one of the things I'm doing with this build is I'm going for low COG. Obviously, you know, this is going to end up at being a low rotating mass. The rings will be a low rotating mass, but all the parts so far, except for the triple tree, are low end parts. So for this trio parts, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to install the bottom part. I'm not going to install the center part that goes underneath the crash structure, skid plate. That's you open it up, and behind that area is where the ESC or the flywheel's at. I'm going to go ahead and replace this. That'll help suck away heat, and that will too. But I don't want to add a lot of upper weight. So for the time being, I'll add the lower piece, and of course this is going to need to be painted. I'll have to paint these areas red, and again for that red I'll be using just good old-fashioned testers and my airbrush, tape it off, and airbrush it on these parts so it gives it a smoother look. Looks a little cleaner, a little bit more factory appearance. But so with these items, the skids, I'm only going to use the bottom. I'll get this and get it painted. The center skid section, which has the flywheel behind it, because that could help pull a lot of that warmth and heat away and get the heat to the outside where it can shed off with the wind and air. And then I've got the front lugs for the front forks, and I'll put these in when the titanium lugs get here. I ordered the titanium lugs off of eBay. The hinge pins from A-Main, and A-Main has all three titanium parts, all the lugs, the hinge pins, everything. And the lugs I got, or the axle set I got from RC Bombshell. They put a post up yesterday. They were doing free shipping on their Promoto items this weekend. So, and they had one set of axles and titanium axles, so I bought them. And then the last two items are Treal, which is the knuckle, and the swing arm. Now, most of the items are in red. The calipers in black. Other items that are more hidden away are in black, and this I bought in black because, like I say, I want to paint the outer edges red, and same thing on the Treal part here. I want to paint the outer edges in red so it looks like the actual frame rails for the bike. Give it that kind of aesthetic appearance. So, like I say, I also have the titanium items coming. Because, like I say, my focus here is what I'm going for is lower COG. So, other than the triple clamp, that's the only thing that's up high I'm going to install right now. Everything else, I mean, there's really, honestly, I could probably take the stock stuff, paint the swing arm, paint the rims, do all that stuff, and get a really good look. You probably don't even need any of this stuff. I mean, I've really not had many parts. I've broken one crash structure, gotten the chains, you know, wood stuck in the chain a couple times, so it stretched a little bit. Probably don't need any of this. I'm doing this more for aesthetics look. And like I say, for aesthetics, you can really start painting things. So don't feel like you need to spend this money to make the Promoto work. You don't. This is all bling, and foolish bling at that, because it's not needed for the bike. The bike, and I've jumped her pretty good. I haven't been jumping like some guys 6 foot high all the time, but I've made some 6 foot high jumps. That's how I broke the crash structure, landed on its head at the local BMX track I didn't run on. I swear I didn't run on it, but I broke the crash structure there somehow, ironically. So again, not needed, but you know, it's hard to avoid buying the cool stuff. So this is probably one of the upgrades that you could say is needed. The stock caliper works pretty decently, could work better, gets a little sticky. Some of the other versions out there I've seen of the upgrades people have got, and they've had some stickiness, although the few people that have gotten this unit seem to say it's pretty good and they haven't had a problem with it sticking for them yet. But because I kind of like the Treal stuff, it looks good. I've used quite a bit of it. I've got pretty much all the other brands out there that are available for stuff for the LOSI on other gear. But I don't like this and that, you know, because it looks different. The anodizing almost always will look different between one company and another. The company, you know, the colors won't be quite right. So it always, you know, adds a little, you know, not uniformity, symmetrical, or symmetry, not symmetrical, symmetry, if you will. Having the parts all the same color, that's one of the important things. So, you know, once I started buying parts, I'm going to stick with that company for the most part. With the hot racing stuff, I got those in black. So, and then the pistons, of course, these go inside the rear piston, or rear shock, so that's not a biggie. So anyways, these parts I'll get on here a bit at a time. Kind of wanted to go over what's going on them and what's going to be done to them. I'll leave that out because I'm going to do the painting first. And then I still got, like I say, axles and a few other things coming in, so I'll start adding pieces on here and there. I'll get some things tonight. I think one of the things I'm going to end up doing to the bike, which will need to be done, I believe, especially if I want to go for that, you know, more authentic Maico appearance, is I'm going to need to strip the gold off of the fork tubes. They're going to have to be silver and polished a little bit so they look shiny and chromy, as you would expect them to look on a actual Maico. And again, if you're not familiar, I'm going for the 1981 Maico MEGA2 490. That was my dream bike when I was a kid and into motocross. I had a couple of Suzuki's, RM125 and the RT, the Enduro Trail bike Suzuki, and that was like a 70, I think a 75, and my RM was a 77, something like that. I only had the RM for a little bit and then got rid of it because I did more trail biking than MXing at the time. But anywho, I do want to open that up, kind of go through it, and then, like I say, actually I gotta take a few things back out here. Those gotta come out, that and that's gotta come out, because I do want to get to doing some painting. I think that was it for that for the moment. Yep, that was it. So those items need some paint. But I want to kind of open this up and take a look. This is something I could probably put and install right now and get on. With minimal work and setup. Packaged and packaged. So it's well packaged. Alright. So let's take a look here. So there's the Treal caliper. Let her focus there a little bit. Come on. Get my camera to focus. This camera's weird. There, it's trying to a little bit. Come on. Go. It's a little better. And then so that's how it's moving. It's yeah, going right to close, boy. This backside is firm, and the caliper side moves here, obviously. Feels nice and smooth. You know, the lever moves real well. Nice, you know, return spring or separator spring between them. Kind of see it there if she'd ever focus right. Let's try to slip it around here, see how easy it goes on. Oh, yeah. Slips on real simple. Plenty of room. It's upside down, obviously, right now. Bites real good, don't move much. Okay. So that seems to work pretty decently. And move you there. You come up here. Everything's bigger, but most everything. These are still going to be the 3. Okay. Get a nice look at the 2. Treal on the should be on your right. I don't know if it's showing on your right or your left. For me, it's on my right. Looks like it should be because you're reading the correctly. The names, you know, printed correctly. So pretty much the same geometry, same layout, slightly different. You know, as far as that goes, as far as the size, it's a little thicker. Well, no, I guess it's not. It looked like it was a little thicker. I was thinking it was a little thicker between the outside and the end of the, you know, where the first pad and inner pad sets, but it's not. It's same thickness. So they got a nice pin here, nice pin setup, and they've got a real, if you can see it in there, the return spring. The stock spring is just a simple one revolution torsion spring. This is a really nice 3, looks like 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 spin torsion spring in here, so it should have a lot of tension. Trying to get it to focus there a little better on it. Of course I don't want to because this camera is funky. It should, but I gotta get better cameras. Or better camera. And then cameras. Or it kinda almost did. Come on. Anyways, the return spring in there is a heavy duty return spring with more. That's pretty good, but it's got a lot, you know, more strength than the stock unit, and it's smoother by far. So let's go ahead and slip this in here. I heard some people say they had maybe a little problem getting that in there. There's a little interesting how it goes in. There we go. Kind of gotta put it in upside down, and then spin it around on. course, I should probably just pull the thing out. I think somebody said they had to open up that a little bit to get it in there. Go ahead and just do that and make it easy. Yeah, somebody else said they had to open this little gap up because it was a little too tight. Well, mine went right in. Right in, no problem. Okay, we'll go ahead and slip this back in now. Okay, I don't think there was anything else. I didn't have any screws or anything with it. Use the stockers, that's what they're for. Okay, let's get you in. Okay. That is that. Push it back up. Oh, that stops it pretty heavy. As long as the servo goes back to normal. So let me go ahead. Oh, pardon. Okay. And before I go too far, I'll give you a good look. Fits on there real nice. Treal on the back side, so you know, kind of hidden. That's good. Let me go ahead and fire it up here. That way I can get the brake working out the remote and set up. So I might have to do a little tweaking. I'm not real fond of this controller. At least working with the battery doors has been a pain in the ass both times. Yeah, the old thing is making a bit of noise. No, I'm moving it around. As long as you leave it, get it still, it will finally connect. You gotta stop moving it. Once you stop moving it, then it will go through and connect. Okay. Make sure this is all the way in. So I've got to adjust my thing back down, or make it just a smidge longer. Let me see. Not bad, but she is dragging a little bit. So I need to okay. I do need to adjust that a little bit. It's already getting a little worked up, but I did buy a second cable just in case. I'm going to shut her off for a moment. Adjust my brake cable. Now, if you notice, its brake cable is white. It's not actually white. It's antenna tube that I've got the black brake cable stuck in to help tighten up that tube and stop it from blowing out on it. Okay. I think it's the other one. What I need to do is adjust my cable a little bit, and I've been grabbing this thing with the pliers, so it's already kind of tore up a smidge. Look at that chunk of crap. Okay. Tighten her up nice so she don't pull through. Now, if you don't know, on this barrel, clamp barrel on your brake cable, it's got a Allen wrench on both sides of the clamp, so you're actually pinching the cable between the two set screws. Are you serious? Just broke the cable. Good thing I got another one coming. Oh, that kind of sucks. That sucks big time. So, let that be a warning. Don't go too tight on your cables. You'll just break them. Like I just did. And I don't think there's enough there left. Because the other side, well, I guess maybe. Let me kind of clean this up a smidge. Cut this cable back a bit. this is going to be a pain in the ass. Just like in real life. Trying to retube the cable. Got lucky. Lucky, 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 in my opinion. That is never how it should go on a cable this small. I mean, that's how it should always should go, but it's just never how it goes. Come on, get through there. Okay, and get my barrel on. Go ahead and take off just a little bit more of this cable sheath. Expose me a little bit more in there. Go there with ya. Let's get the barrel on. Awful quiet out there. Here comes the dog. Just about it. Alright, I think that'll work. So, you land in here. Okay. There. Flip into there. There. This is where it might get a little tricky. Put that in there. Okay, go ahead and put that out. Like that. Well, there it is. That went in there. Now let's try this again. Okay. Okay, now I've got travel. Is set all the way down. Front brake trim. Now that's all the way up. Front brake trim, that's all the way down. Halfway right there, not quite. About halfway. It's about 65, almost 70% right there on travel or trim. There it is. That's where it grabs. So it grabs at about 70, 72%. So back off a little bit more. About 55, 60% right there. Oh boy. You can see I'm actually moving the bike. And that's with the trim all the way travel. Front brake trim is sitting right there about 65%, so it's just barely hit the brakes and it's catching. But my front brake travel is all the way down. How you doing, Dale? Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, that sucker, that's tight. Wow, that should work out pretty good. Now I wonder, even though they've got a smaller caliper style, I almost wonder if there's a way, I know there is, but will it work on this? Get the metal brake for the back and stick this caliper on it and see if it will work on the back brake. I think it would. Put that stock one back there. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to shut down. I don't need everything else on at the moment. So yeah, that Treal brake caliper so far on the installs fit right on, no problem. My cable broke, so I had to take things down, take the cable and you know, readjust everything, cut my cable sheath shorter. But yeah, this outside, this is, like I say, this is just a antenna tube, old antenna tube from something. That's why it's kind of yellowish clear, from an airplane that I got laying around somewhere. It was installed in it. But if you took any color antenna tube, black, red, blue, green, and put your cable in there, that will help it out. I've seen a few people have cable blowouts, or the cable's getting kind of tweaked and bent and, you know, kinked a little bit. Putting your tube, an antenna tube around the cable sheath will stop that. At least help prevent it big time and keep that cable in good shape, which will make your brake continue to work in good shape longer. So yes, I do like that. That worked out well. That is a nice little piece. What was it? 48 bucks, I think, for the Treal caliper. I believe that's what they are. Let me double check here. Gotta sign in. There go my battery. Now, $39.98. So $40 for the Treal brake caliper. I got mine in black because I want to keep it kind of more low profile. But that should work out really good. I can't wait to actually get out and use it. And yeah, Treal is available at AMA now for anybody listening or watching this up. They can be. Parts are expensive. I seen somebody say something they're tired of waiting. They're going to start buying parts and upgrading, buy stuff to buy their bike, build their bike. It's like you're going to pay about 75% to 100%, more. So 150% to 200% of retail by building it just out of stock parts. If you buy stock parts, because that's where they really make their money at, is parts replacement. And then of course people who sell upgrades, that's where they make their money at. And like I said earlier, really none of these are needed. Even the caliper isn't actually needed. The stock caliper can be made to work pretty decently. However, to make it work really well, it's worth the $40 in my opinion. That should work out really well. And like I said, another thing it's doing is adding low weight. So I'm trying to lower the COG just with the parts I'm adding here. Not too worried. Mine's gotten warm, but it hasn't gotten too warm. But the Treal skid pieces here, they'll turn around and do pretty decently. They'll end up taking it and help cooling things down. But like I say, I'm only going to put the bottom piece on initially because I want to keep the weight up high off as much as possible, barring the triple trees. But yeah, that kind of gets through what I've got. And like I said, I've got the front spring assortment on the way. Set of handlebars for the DX450 because its handlebars are broke. And I should be able to make these ones fit on there and work just fine. I pretty much got rid of all my stuff. I got out of RC for the most part around 2012. The only thing I really had left, a couple planes and my Duratrax DX450 bike. So I don't really have too much that's that old anymore except for that bike and then again a few planes. Before that I had Baja, the HPI Baja 5B, and a couple of those and a plethora of different things up until that time. I got into RC early 80s, late 70s for a couple years. Well, of course, wasn't much available back then. It was really limited. And I was a young teen at that time. And by 84, I was graduated high school and out of all that stuff and on the music. But then I got back into RC, 2000s, early 2000s or so. Had slow time, was working more around the hometown area, so I was home and able to take advantage of all the fun. So I got back into it. Yeah, a chopper would be kind of cool. I mean, you got a lot of those die-cast choppers that are displays that would be kind of interesting to see if one of them could be, modified and lightened up to turn into a bike, get a gyro set up in it so it's, a little better balance and stuff. But yeah, I like that Treal upgrade. Like I said, none of these things are really needed. I'm using this most for looks. I could paint, and I could have, maybe I should have, just to save the money. I didn't have to spend the money. But hey, it's an RC, and when I croak, the kid and old lady can sell it, maybe make some money back. Yeah, I know. Poor piss ass poor excuse for a savings and retirement fund. But yeah, they can be a little pricey depending on what you get. And I've got $500-ish into parts coming or here with what I've gotten and what I've still got coming. A few the titanium bits and here and there. But I'm going for a go. I want to keep it kind of low COG, lower the COG. Maybe help shed some of that weight. But I'm going mostly for that that Maico 1981 Maico MEGA2 look. So Now, I've done anodizing myself before, so luckily I know how to safely and easily strip the gold anodizing. I think somebody's already done it, and so it came off really easy anyways. So that's good. So it shouldn't be hard to chrome these tubes up and make them look like chrome as opposed to gold on these fork tubes. So that'll really be a nice bike. Yeah, Captain America bike, that'd be nice. Yeah, I've got a bad habit of upgrading my RCs needlessly, going for that scale look. I'm nailing this down. I retrimmed the plastics Friday night, last night before Thursday night a little bit. I got to do a little touch up on them, a little filing, just to clean them up a smidge. To go, get it more of that, Mega 2 look. Triple streaming, you have what, 3 different people live streaming together? So I'm trying to work on, been talking to James Biondi here a little bit about getting a combo together and doing a little combo cast of some sort if we can. But that's how long was that going there? What to say? Hour? Oh no, that's megabytes. I can't go off that. There we go. An hour and 8 minutes. There it is. So that ain't too bad. Hour to kind of bump through this shit. Install that caliper. Reset my brake cable a little bit. That was pretty easy. Yeah, the bikes are tricky. Even this one that with the upgraded newer electronics and the technology of the AV6 system and the gyro that works together, it's still a little bit to control. You still have to drive it like a bike. You got to plan to go into your corners. You just can't come up to a corner and turn. You got to slow down coming into it, make the corner, and then power out, just like a real bike. Yes, I do still have my Harley. Got to do a little work to it. Kicker went to snot on me, so I got to fix the kicker and then the float valve and drained all the fuel into my crankcase. So I've drained it all, but that's been a little while. I got to get back to that. I should have been working on it because it's been setting for a few years now. But basically, all I got to do is, redo the carb smidge and put new kicker plates in it. Then flush her out, fill her up full of oil. But I've have issues with my back, and I found after I first got it running, about half an hour, 45 minutes of sitting on that bike seat. Even though it's a comfortable seat, because of the way I have to sit on the bike and the way it pinches up my back, my legs get numb, and when I come to a stop, it's hard to keep myself upright because my legs are numb and I have little strength in them. So, why it's beautiful, I love it. I've not been riding very much because it's gonna be strictly short rides, because I gotta kind of sit down and that pinches my nerves up and gets my legs kind of numbed. So I'll probably end up possibly getting rid of it and then picking up a dirt bike, because a dirt bike that I can take on the street, enduro style type bike, when you're not street riding on dirt, which is mostly where I'll probably end up being anyways with it, out on the trails, you're standing up most of the time. You're moving. You're sitting down. You're standing. You're getting all over the place. So it doesn't really, I won't have a problem with back as long as I'm moving and not in one position for an extended period of time. It doesn't bother me. My legs are pretty good, and I don't get weak legs, and they start pinching up my nerves, and then I don't have to worry. Plus, it'd be lighter. So that damn thing's 825 pounds. Oh yeah, nice big old roadster there, 1600. That's a big bike. That's a big bike. Michigan, neighbor to the north. Canada, or as I call it, Canuckistan. Yeah, I'm in Michigan, up in the Tri-City area, where the thumb meets the hand, if you will. Yeah, I've had issues with my back. They wanted to operate when I was 13, 14, and I decided against it. Roll the dice, if you will. So that's kind of why I got out of biking in the first place, because my back was giving me fits. Although it didn't help that I was playing bass and wearing a 25-pound bass every night, 3, 4 nights a week minimum, if not just for rehearsal, out playing every weekend. So that didn't help my back, and the head banging because we were playing metal and death metal. That didn't help my neck and my back either. At 57, I would have liked to head banged a little less. At 27, it was all the rage. Yeah, my friend, it's getting shockingly nuts up in the north. The Great White North is turning into the Great Crazy North. Of course, we're not far behind you guys here. Right on, you're a little bit older than me, a couple years. You got a couple years on me. I just turned 57 in August myself. I can sing. I'm not a singer. I'm a bass player by heart. Oh, right on. It's been a while since I played. Lost my brother and sister in the late 2000s, back to back, within a couple weeks of each other, and there was a lot of stuff going on at that time. I just kind of lost my desire to play. I mean, it was like a job at that time. You go out and you're playing on the weekend. You may as well be a jukebox, because it just was a whole different scene than it was in the 80s and 90s being a live musician. It had changed so much through the 2000s that, yeah, by 2010, 2012, it was just stale and old and eh. Yeah, and new music, which a lot of people wanted to hear in the bars and the local club scenes. Really crappy music. I hated playing it. Some of it was okay, but even the okay stuff was boring. I wanted to go back and start playing, all the R&B and the good groove music. Nobody wanted to hear that. Nobody wanted to play that. I should have done what I wanted to do 20 years ago and just get into a project and just focus. I had really considered learning how to play the flute and getting proficient with the acoustic guitar so I could do a Jethro Tull cover band, because I can do Jethro Tull. I can sing Jethro Tull, and I can mimic his kind of nasally tone and get that kind of, you know, I don't know how you want to describe it, but Jethro Tull's got that kind of melodic, jesterish, not baroque, but ah, oh, what would it be? Circus atmosphere, kind of early English circus atmosphere kind of music. But that I always loved that. Always loved that about the band. It was fun music to listen to, but extremely extremely hard to play. It'd take me a little while. I've never played the flute. I've blown on a couple flutes before, and they're a trick to get used to. So to be proficient, boy, I'd have to really work on it for a while. Because if I did it, I'd want to do an actual, band that is a, or whatever you want to call it, and actually play the guitar, play the flute, do the singing, make the mouth noises as he does when he sings. Yeah, kind of rock opera blues. God, I just try the name I want to use. Like I said, it's not Baroque. It's in that genre. Just is escaping me at the moment. Just escaping me at the moment. So I guess I can get ready to set up and start doing my painting. I guess the first thing I'll do is the gold here. I can knock that off relatively quick, unless I want to really highlight these things and, put some masking on them. Yeah, I remember Motor Breath. Never did any of their music, but I did listen to a hell of a lot of it. But I suppose before I do much, I should go get some food in my gut. It's what, 3:30, 4 o'clock already, so yeah. I'm getting kind of hungry again. Grab a little food. The old lady's making crab ragoon. I gotta make up some homemade sweet and sour sauce and get that going. Right on, Dale. Thanks for hanging out, brother. We will hack at you later, Brian. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and go grab some food, get a little guts going on, and then start another quick video and do some other shit. We'll talk to everybody later, and thanks for chilling.